Hey guys, what is going on? This is Ip of Rage Quit TV. Gonna be casting game one of a best of three because this is the Korean Weekly week number 6. It is a season that is pretty darn high. I don't know exactly what season it is. Day 1, round 1, week 6, game 1. That's all you need to know. If you're confused, well, just enjoy the game between New Star Hoso Salvation and Liquid TLO. It is a ZVT on Ohana, and I have no clue who Salvation is. It may be a Smurf name. I honestly don't know. That's what the replay was labeled. And New Star Hoso is a pretty darn good team. They are definitely dedicated to have a team house. So I'm kind of curious if he's living in the house in that New Star Hoso. Actually, I think it's just called Hoso Academy. There's a video up on YouTube. If you just Google, not Google, if you just YouTube Hoseo, that is how you say Hoso. The very first result should be Artosis, and you can see him. He is definitely on New Star with that rally point on the SCV. You can see making the star, repping his team. We do have the first overload for TLO going straight down the middle. And TLO most likely will be going for a hatch first and then either be building between 4 and 6 queens, because queens apparently are pretty darn good at holding off a lot of early pressure. And then you get a lot of creep spread. And it's kind of funny because the Terrans used to attack Zergs like at the 9-minute mark. They do a little bit of timing, so in case the Zerg went mutas, they could actually just kind of flat out kill them or do some damage. Now the Terrans kind of have to move out before the 9-minute or 10-minute mark still to prevent the creep from getting to their base. And TLO maybe taking a hidden third. No, he just takes his natural. Looks like this drone is just scouting all around, making sure he doesn't lose to any type of proxy barracks, which are definitely common on the Korean server. Very nice job with that one drone, scouting the entire right side while his overlord kind of glances over the left. It's not as thoroughly scouted, but it is scouted nonetheless. And now it looks like the drone will be pulling on back as a Marine is in production, so that would not be smart to go over to Salvation's base because chances are he'd be seeing nothing. That drone scout left really late, and because it left late, if he went to the base, then he just died before he even got to see the gas. And if you don't even get to the middle line, see the gas, then, well, you might as well not even bother scouting. At least your opponent. You can do what TLO did, which is very good, and scout around, make sure you're not getting proxied, but you're not going to get much information by going to their base. In this case, he probably would, because Salvation just builds a command center on the low ground. And a Terran strategy on this map is to go on 3 bases. It is very easy for Terran to hold 3 bases because they get a wall up right here, take out these rocks, put a command center right here, and then they just defend this one area, which can easily be defended by Marine Tank, which all Terrans love going. So I'm assuming that's what Salvation is going to be doing. Hasn't taken any gas just yet. We'll see when he ends up getting his 3rd command center. I'm going to be guessing it's before the 8-minute mark, just because, well, it is one of those maps. We do have the SCV, gets a complete scout off, doesn't see any gas of the Zerg, so now he knows, okay, I'm not under any direct pressure. I don't need to build a bunker because, well, slow Zerglings aren't going to be that good against my Marines, especially when I have high ground. And, yep, the command center goes down right away. I did want to say 3 command centers before anything, after not seeing the gases, but, yeah. We do have a rather risky build from Salvation saying, okay, you are not going to be putting on any pressure whatsoever, and has this one SCV just trying to get the 3rd timing out. So Salvation is going to be going with a little bit of a risky build, going for this 1-Rax double Expo, but TLO can't put any pressure on, and he has a pretty good idea on what TLO is doing with this SCV. If he doesn't see the hatch down here by, like, the 6-minute mark or 6:30-minute mark, then he's going to know something is up and may start building bunkers. It's all about the timing of this 3rd base, because right now Salvation thinks that TLO is going to go for a 3rd base type play. We do see a TLO taking a 2nd gas right now, already has a 1-up in his main mind, about 70 gas so far. And Salvation getting the 1st bunker up, still doesn't see that 3rd hatch, in this maybe a little bit worrisome to him right now, not seeing a 3rd hatch. He's like, okay, well, my 3rd command center just about finished. Haven't started your 3rd base. Are you going to be doing something funky? I don't know, but he is going to be going for Hellions right now. And this SCV not getting any scouting information whatsoever. If a few roaches came out from TLO right now, it could pretty much just end the game, or at least do a lot of damage. But TLO not going to be getting those roaches out. He is getting an Evo chamber right now, so he is going to be playing most likely towards the heavy Ling style, and a Mako hatch goes down, not going to be taking the 3rd base. And when you go for this Evo chamber, it's kind of the Stefano build. He's the one that popularized this, the 3 hatch before layer, but TLO taking his 3rd hatch in his base. His creep, those now starting to spread. He does have 4 active tumors out on the map, and that is pretty darn good. That will spread really, really quickly. but if he doesn't go up on a third base anytime in the immediate future, he could be finding himself getting completely out-macroed by Salvation. And Salvation now going to be getting a starport with another barracks. This barracks getting a tech lab, maybe for Stim, maybe for Banshees. We'll see exactly what is going on. And I say Banshees just because, well, he doesn't see this third base, so he may be thinking it's going to be some type of two-base play, maybe like a two-base Infestor type build, which Banshees would be pretty darn good at because Infestors aren't really that good against Banshees, at least in the early stage of the game. Yeah, they do kill them, but it takes a lot of energy, at least 100 energy pretty much to kill a Banshee or secure the death. So just keep that in mind when you think they're going to be going Infestors. We do have 2 Hellions here. Seeing the creep start spreading, he sees a lot of active tumors, and it's only 8 minutes, and he's about halfway across the map, and that will be at the Terran's base around the 12 or 13 minute mark. We do see another barracks going to be placed on that one reactor. And Salvation hasn't tried taking his third base yet, doesn't really have any type of wall up, doesn't have a real army. He's going to the army supply 18 to 18. They are tied at the army at 8:30. And the Zerg, he's got his macro hatch up, so he can just power units like crazy. While a Terran player, Salvation, he can't really do that. So we will see TLO with a very big army very soon. Overlord does come in, sees this orbital command. He's like, okay, you got your third base already. Well, at least I'm getting my hatch that wasn't landed, so all it's been doing is giving mules, which gives more energy to Salvation. Going into the workers, it is 44 SCVs to the 49 drones. And TLO, not that far behind, but the Hellion, the Banshee is out, picks off one of those creep tumors, gonna be making his way over here. If he can do some damage to this third base, possibly cancel it, that would be really good, but it doesn't look like that. TLO, again, does have a lot of queens, a lot of creep, and getting some spore callers. Right now, we do have Hellions trying to go about, but Lings do get a surround on one of them, gonna be getting another, and all 4 of these Hellions, or 5 of them, do go down. Meanwhile, the Banshee does cloak, will be taking out a few drones, up to 3 kills, 4 kills, and now going to be going on this one hatch, but that hatch is not going to be falling. Going to get a few more drone kills. Meanwhile, Salvation has to take out these rocks. There we go, the rocks are going to be taken out, and he's going to be floating this command center over so he can take his third base. You can look at TLO spreading the creep on both passageways right now, not just going down the map, he's going all over the map. So he's going to have complete vision. And looking at the overlords, you can look one here and on the left side as well. Also creep spreading this way. So this will allow him to defend against drops and banshees because he's going to have a complete, like, half the map of vision, which is just absolutely amazing. Ling's own patrol down here, trying to find out when this third base is going to be taken. Banshee just watching it right here. He is almost dead at 26 HP. Salvation, he is at 0-0 upgrades right now, while TLO, he is working on 2-2, getting that Overlord speed and also bailing speed and a hive right now. TLO is under no threat whatsoever. And it wouldn't surprise me to see him take another base just because his creep is so far down the map, even moving the spore callers along with it. I'm kind of surprised he doesn't have spine callers moving with those spores, just because that is generally what TLO likes to do, put things on the very edge. And now, oh, I want to put a tumor right there, so it does unburrow and reburrow. And TLO not really missing a single creep like spread. This is going so far, so quickly. And Salvation in a little bit of trouble, but he is even on supply, so you never count the Terran player out when they're even on supply because they have the ability to easily just have a massive 200 army and just steamroll. We do have Salvation going with a very marine-heavy army with 38 marines, 2 tanks, and 3 banshees. And that passion glands is being researched, so Salvation is going to have some killer micro to survive against both banelings and infestors. His medevac count isn't really all that high at a whopping 0. No medevacs out, so fungal growth is going to be so darn good. If he had like 10 medevacs, it would kind of negate fungal growth a little bit. But without any medevacs out on the field, he is going to be in quite a bit of trouble, especially because that hive has started. If TLO wanted to go for Broodlords, which it doesn't look like he's doing because he's not getting Aspire, he's getting an Ultralisk Cavern. But if he did get Broodlords, then Salvation would have to say, do I want... Oh, he's got 1 medevac, okay. He would have to say, do I want medevacs or Vikings? Because I don't have either. But does have a good split on those Marines. Will be moving across the map. Those Lings are at 2-2. Marines are at 1-1. You can see 2-2 just about done. Doing a great job keeping his unit split up. Does have 4 tanks out, 2 Banshees. And looks like these Banshees trying to do more kills, 4 kills and 9 kills. Lings and Baneleys coming up, getting us around on those tanks, but the Marines are more than enough to kill off the Baneleys, and now going to be running forward. But going into TLO's zone, he does have 3 Infestors now, so he has to be careful, especially walking on that creep to stay unclumped. Because if he does clump, walk across the creep, Infestor will come and just fungal him. These Banshees coming back, will they do more damage? It doesn't look like it. He's only killed 8 workers so far. Here we go. The Banshee is going to be cloaking, finding out this 4th base, and no, going to be going over to the 3rd. I don't know what it's doing. It does cloak and decides to stop moving. We do have Salvation now pulling on back. Overlord just over here. You can see TLO's map vision is just absolutely ridiculous as the Marines do take out some more tumors, but Lings do come, and they do get picked up, so very nice job by Salvation right there, saving what he can. It is ahead on supply for Salvation, but he does not have the army to really combat this. He does have good upgrades, does have a lot of units, but it is all going to come down to Micro, and he cannot make a single mistake. One mistake and he is dead. He only has 4 tanks, so he can't really leapfrog that quickly, take out the Tumas with the tanks. He's going to have to sacrifice Marines to take out Tumas. We'll see how he ends up doing this, because this is a very sticky spot in the game. You see all those Infestors just waiting to get that clumped up, and this could be brutal anytime now. Scans going down, taking off all those, stimming a few units ahead just so he doesn't clump up, and like I said, does get caught clumped up. Lots of Marines will be going down to that Infestor. One Infestor does fall. Was that the one with the kills? Yes, it was. But Salvation still has plenty of Marines back here, building them 9 at a time. We do have Lings going off over here. These 3 Marines are going to get taken out. He has done a great job at pushing the creep back. We do have Marshals now coming out, and the Marines not really that far behind on the upgrades. Actually, maybe he is. He has not started 3-3 yet, and 3-3 just about done for TLO, and Infestor is coming in. Burrowed underneath. One Infestor just goes down and falls. Whoa, what was that? We do have 2 medevacs. Going to be doing a drop from Salvation, and this Infestor just wants to get a fungal off all those Marines, and there he goes. Does get picked off, but here we go. The Ultras are coming in, and everything is forced to retreat. No stims on those Marines. Now going to start splitting them up. Will Salvation be able to hold 187 supply to 180? And yes, he does manage to hold, get the split up, and those Ultras do have to pull on back. Those Marines don't really do that much damage to them. Only 3 damage per shot, because that armor is absorbing, actually 2 damage per shot. The armor is absorbing 6 damage out of the total of 8 those Marines do. So you can just see how little damage Marines do to these Ultras when the Zerg has the upgrade advantage. And that drop looks like it got cleaned up relatively easily. Nothing really taken out. These Queens alive. Some drones may have died, but everything is still mining very happily. Ultras are coming in by TLO. Salvation forced to pull back. It's 200 supply versus 200 supply, but Salvation's army just doesn't look that big. Lots of Ultras are coming in. Those Marines are doing their best to micro around. Banley's now falling up behind us, but those Ultras just aren't taking any damage, and there's no Queens to even transfuse them right now. Marines are coming up. Marauders have joined the mix, and that's what he needs. And now more Marines are coming back, but these Ultras, again, just being the tanks they are, just absorb so much damage, and there goes the GG by Salvation. And I forgot to put the little scoreboard up. I will have that for the next game. That was game 1. We will be going in game 2, see if Salvation can do anything. It didn't really look like it looked a little lopsided that game. I'll just be flat out honest. I think it kind of comes down to how early he ended up building this command center, and then not seeing this 3rd base for such a long time, was really nervous about taking it. Let's just go back to the early stages of this game. So we're at 6 minutes right now. So, at this point, at 7:30, okay, TLO isn't taking another base. He has no idea TLO's gas timing. So I think right now would be a really opportune time to scan at the 7:30 or 8. We'll see if he scans within a little bit. No. So I think it would have been much beneficial to scan a little bit earlier to kind of tell what his opponent was doing, because he played in the dark a little bit too long when he had this third base up so early. Never reaped the real benefits. If he ended up going for like tanks first, I think the tanks on this high ground can kind of protect this base. I'm not positive. I think they can protect some of it. Actually, no, it's not like Cloud Kingdom where they can. Doesn't look like it. But as I said, all he had to do is wall this area off, so instead of putting all his tech right here on this high ground, let's say he put another barracks right here and built a factory down here, got tanks, put a tank on the high ground, put a tank on the lower ground, scan, make sure there's no roach one, because if there were roaches, then he'd be in danger of being busted, and then having all the stuff on the high ground is good. But, yeah, I just think he needed to take this base a little bit earlier, at least wall this up, because he just played really safe. He played really aggressive econ, and then kind of just mellowed out, and TLO caught up. So that's the summary of that game. We will be going into game 2 to see exactly what ends up happening. Hope you enjoyed the game. See you soon.